What if everything you thought you knew about the night was only the surface of a much darker truth? Tonight we step beyond fear, beyond rumor, and into the hidden world that few dare to speak about. This is not a story shaped by imagination, but a testimony from someone who once walked willingly into shadows most people avoid. An ex-Satanist comes forward to reveal what truly happens in graveyards after dark, lifting the veil on rituals, energies, and encounters that challenge belief itself. What lies ahead is unsettling, but it is also a warning and a call to awareness. There was a time when I walked into graveyards not with fear, but with purpose that I believed was powerful and liberating. I thought I was stepping into a place where I could gain control, where hidden forces could be called upon to give me strength and direction. What I did not realize was that I was entering a space already heavy with grief, memory, and silence that demanded respect, not manipulation. The darkness did not make me powerful, it only made me blind to what I was becoming. Every step deeper into those rituals pulled me further away from truth and closer to something empty. And that is the reality many do not see when they are drawn toward these hidden practices. In those nights, rituals were carried out with careful planning and secrecy, not because they held real power, but because secrecy itself created the illusion of importance. Words were spoken, symbols were drawn, and actions were performed that were meant to imitate control over forces beyond human understanding. But in truth, it was not power that was growing. It was fear, confusion, and a loss of identity. The graveyard became a stage where people acted out their desire to feel significant, even if it meant stepping into darkness. What seemed like control was actually surrender to something that drained purpose and clarity, and the deeper we went, the harder it became to recognize the damage being done. I stand here now not to frighten you, but to awaken you to the truth behind these hidden rituals. There is nothing empowering about losing yourself in darkness while chasing a false sense of control. Real strength does not come from secret acts performed in silence, but from the courage to walk in truth and face life with clarity. Do not be drawn in by curiosity or the illusion of mystery, because what waits there is not power, but emptiness. You have the ability to choose a path that builds, not one that destroys. Choose light, choose awareness, and never trade your purpose for shadows. There is something about a graveyard after dark that reaches beyond what the eyes can see and begins to touch the mind and the emotions in a powerful way. When I first stepped into that space at night, I told myself it was only silence and shadows, nothing more. But the atmosphere felt different, heavy and pressing, as if every unspoken memory and every unresolved emotion was still lingering in the air. It was not supernatural power that created this feeling, but the weight of human experience and the way the mind reacts to it. Fear begins to rise not from what is there, but from what we imagine could be there, and slowly that fear starts shaping how you think and how you feel. As time passed, I began to understand that the environment itself was influencing my thoughts more than any ritual or belief ever could. The darkness made every sound louder, every movement more intense, and every thought more extreme. What started as curiosity turned into a heightened state of awareness that was not healthy or grounding. The mind, when placed in such an environment, begins to fill the silence with its own fears and expectations. People around me would interpret these feelings as something external, something powerful, when in reality it was their own minds reacting to pressure and suggestion. This is how the illusion grows stronger, feeding on emotion and uncertainty until it feels completely real. Now I speak to you not from fear, but from understanding and clarity that came after stepping away from that darkness. You must recognize how powerful your mind is and how easily it can be influenced by environment and belief. Do not allow yourself to be controlled by places or situations that distort your sense of reality and peace. True strength comes from staying grounded, from knowing what is real and what is created by fear within. When you protect your mind, you protect your direction in life. Stand firm in awareness and do not let shadows define your thoughts or your future. Many people grow up Armenian Hing. La is Armenian He, Sa is ing stories about graveyards that are filled with fear, mystery, and supernatural ideas that seem impossible to question. I once believed those same stories, and I allowed them to shape how I saw the world around me. But when I became deeply involved in those environments, I began to see a different reality that was far less mystical and far more human. What people often describe as dark forces are usually the result of human actions, choices, and emotions left unchecked. Fear spreads easily when people do not understand what they are experiencing, and the more fear grows, the more powerful these myths begin to feel in the mind. The truth is that many of the disturbing experiences tied to graveyards come from real human behavior that is hidden in darkness. Secret gatherings, emotional instability, and the desire to feel powerful can lead people to act in ways that appear frightening to others. When you combine darkness, silence, and expectation, the mind begins to exaggerate every detail and turn it into something larger than reality. What seems supernatural is often the result of suggestion, influence, and the natural reaction of the human mind under pressure. Once I understood this, the fear began to lose its control over me. I realized that the real danger was not in unseen forces, but in how easily people can be misled. I stand before you now to remind you that truth is always stronger than illusion, no matter how convincing that illusion may appear. Do not allow fear-based stories to shape your understanding of the world or control your decisions. When you seek clarity and question what you hear, you begin to take back your power and your peace of mind. There is strength in knowledge and awareness, and there is freedom in seeing things as they truly are. You do not need to fear what is built on misunderstanding and exaggeration. Stand firm in truth and let your mind remain clear and unshaken by shadows. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that what hides in darkness is often not as powerful as the fear we give it. I have walked that path. I have seen the truth behind the illusion, and I stand here as proof that no shadow holds real power over a mind that is aware and grounded. You are stronger than any story, any environment, and any false belief that tries to control you. Choose clarity over confusion, truth over fear, and purpose over emptiness. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that light is always within your reach.